Hi, good evening. Hi. How are you? Great to see all of you. Thank you, bacho, for joining. Thank you, bacho. How are you doing? All good. I hope. I'm just hoping you're all good. I understand it's not a very easy time for you to be here, right? And I understand the concept of many of you struggling, especially, and the struggle really is real. And I'm here to tell you, I can vouch for a fact that I can feel it on so many days that what gives us the most unhappiness, what gives us the most frustrating, annoying feeling is when targets and dates are shifted, right? Yes or no? Tell me if you agree with what I've just said. All of us have a certain line that we want to reach, right? Let's say I'll give an example. I run, so let's assume I know that the finish line is here, right? When the finish line is here, in my whole mind I'm planning, okay, I'm going to stop after 2 kilometers, I'm going to stop, so I know the end point of my race. How cruel it would be if I near the end and suddenly somebody says, wait, boss, let me change the goalpost. Let me change your finish line. And now your finish line is after 20 further kilometers. I'm like, boss, what are you doing? So it deflates me. It makes me feel annoyed. It makes me feel this is wrong. It makes me feel it is unjust. And then I get into what I call as a victim mentality, right? Which means that why is this happening to me? Why is it that I have to suffer the consequences of something which is not my mistake? Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? This is typically something that really most of us are actually entering into. We know this is really making us struggle. We know this is really making us struggle, and this is really killing us. So today I'm here to just address some of your questions. I'm just trying to tell you what you want to do, right? If I was in this situation, right, what would I do, is what I'm going to talk about today. It's going to be a quick fire thing. It's going to be something which will give me, at least I'm going to tell you what I would have done. I would have first felt very frustrated. That's the first admission I want to give you. It's okay to feel blank right now. It is okay to feel as if you are not in the race. See, I'm saying this sentence again. It's okay to feel that you are not in the race. It's okay to feel right now that you are behind other people. It's okay to feel as if there is no hope. It's okay to feel that you are forgetting everything what you are reading, and it's okay again to feel a lack of motivation, a lack of skill. It is okay to feel all of that. You have all my blessings right now, and I'm telling you with a hand on my heart that even I would have felt that way. Okay, even a student who's doing very well will always be self-judgmental in a negative way. I know a lot of my toppers who will say, sir, 2 months before the exam, I felt I was out of the race, and suddenly I don't know what happened, sir. In this last 2 3 months, I did so well, and now see, I'm talking to you as an interview topper. Right, bache? Let's. I'm telling you my mantra for what I want to do. Yes or please? So I have made just, I this is not a lecture. This is not a lecture. Okay, it's just my way of doing this in the next 3 months. What would I do is what I'm going to talk about. So I will really give you my 10 points. Okay, I've just made some 10 points, and I want to really start telling you about those 10 points. And this is not like a study lecture. It's not a motivation lecture. It's something that gives me some degree of control on my life if I was in your situation, and I would do the same. I would do the same for you, right? I'm going to discuss everything. Let's go step by step. Let's go step by step here. Let's go step by step. Okay. The first thing, okay, let's give you this now. The first thing I want to do is work on belief. Every 10 point is important, and I will wish that in the next 3 months, if you can, just do all these 10 points very well. Okay, you can note it down also. If you do these 10 points well, trust me, you're going to have a lot more success than what you would without these 10 pointers, right? Listen to this very carefully. Listen to this very carefully. Listen to this very carefully. First, all of us need to understand one thing. Every result, as a beginning of belief. I want you to put a hand on your heart right now. I want you to put a hand on your heart right now. And then tell me, and I don't want you to tell me, tell yourself, close your eyes, do this right now, do this right now. Close your eyes and just tell me that if I give 10 points to belief and how much belief I have in my own self, in being able to do it, right? How much belief I have that the next 3 months or so, or maybe a lesser than 3 months we have now, how much effort I'll be able to put in the next 3 months. If I give 10 points to 100% effort, listen to this very carefully. If I give 10 points to 100% effort, okay, if I give 10 points to 100% effort, okay, what number would you give yourself? What number would you give yourself? Right? What number would you give? Today, let's give you this now. Today, did you give 100% effort? Is my first question. Tell me if you did. Tell me if you did. Just today. Just today. So many students say, oh, maybe if I really think honestly about it, I gave maybe 80% effort. I maybe gave 20% effort. Now guess what? Effort is completely in your hand. You know why we are not able to give efforts? Because our belief is short. We believe कि नहीं हो पा रहा है या नहीं हो सकता. So now every day at the end of day, EOD means end of day. Every day at the end of the day, I want you to have a paper and a pen, and then you will say how much percent effort did I make? How much percent effort did I make? Now, if my number is anything between 90 and 100%, I will give myself a 5 star, right? I will give myself a 5 star. I will not give myself a 5 star on the basis of how much I remember. It's a very important point. Don't judge yourself on how much you remember. That's not the way, bache, to do this. Don't think about how much you remember from what you just did. You just have to know that the star comes from effort and not memory retention, not how much you can recollect, not how much you can recall, not how much you have even studied. Again, when I say 100% effort, it does not mean the number of hours. I'm not saying 10 hours, I'm not saying 11 hours, I'm not saying 12 hours. What I'm saying is, if you believe that you can do 10 hours, did you do 10 hours? Is my point. Some days you are sick and you are not able to do it. Something urgent has come, some family members has gone through something, and you have only 3 hours. Do you do 3 hours that day? That's called 100% effort. So what I want you to do is don't judge on outcome, on how much you have remembered. You have to judge only on the process. We also call it effort. Are you judging yourself on effort, or are you judging yourself on how much you remember? If you judge yourself on the outcome as to how much GT score you are having, how much you are able to remember, you know what will happen? You study 100% effort and then you say, "Yaar, I'm not able to remember." That means something is wrong. You know what will happen the next day? You don't feel like giving effort because you somehow have a belief system in your mind which says, kya fayda? If I do 15 minutes more of study, kya fayda? So you get into a negative frame of mind only because you judge yourself on how much your memory has retained on it. Tell me if I'm not wrong. Tell me what I'm not wrong. Yes, yes, what I'm saying. First of all, this is an active skill. I've always given myself a pat on the back on the days I used to feel very satisfied on the days I used to do it in the morning, right in the morning, that okay, Saurabh, you have to today read for 10 hours. And let's assume I get to 90 to 10 to 100% of that. I used to stop thinking about how much my brain has remembered. That's a short way of killing motivation, because what will happen is, if you read 10 hours, do you think you will remember 10 hours? That's not humanly possible. You are asking for a non-human thing, that if I read 10 hours today, in the morning in the first hour read so and so thing, oh, I'm not able to recollect after 10 hours. That's normal. That's how humans are. We are not machine, we are not robots. We are actually people who are messy emotional beings, and we are okay forgetting whatever we did. That still makes you understand one thing: forgetting is normal. And you will say, yaar, ye to ajeeb si baat ho gayi. What if I forget in the exam? Now, listen to this very carefully. If you make an effort, which is 100% every day, and I vouch for a fact that if you can do this for the next whatever number of days you have before your exams, something magical will happen at the end of this thing. And that magical is you will start remembering it at the end of this effort, not on the daily basis. But when you do this on a consistent basis, there is something called as memory, which is called as repetition. Repetition gives you memory, not single reading, not two times reading, repetition. And we're going to talk about repetitions also. So listen to this very carefully. I want you to believe in the entire concept of belief in the effort physiology, not in the outcome physiology. That's the first mantra I want to tell you. Are you understanding this? We are going to discuss a lot of details. So just stay with me in letter and spirit and heart and mind. And I will make you understand that the only way to win in the next 3 or so months is to stop thinking on what your effort is getting you into. Stop thinking that I want dermatology. Stop thinking that you want XYZ field. Stop thinking that you want to have central institutes. Stop thinking about outcomes. Be process oriented, not outcome oriented. Be effort oriented, not outcome oriented. All our scriptures say this. Why have we forgotten it? We know that's the only way to succeed, because if you look at the outcome, what comes is stress. What comes is lack of belief. What comes is a feeling that what if I don't succeed? That only happens once you attach yourself too much to what your effort is getting you. Are you with me in this? So many students ask me, sir, GT score increase nahi ho raha. See, sir, my GT score is stuck. You know what again you are doing? Again you are looking at your outcome and you're trying to change the outcome and you're not really changing the process. How many of you, put a hand on your heart, how many of you can vouch for a fact that आज आपने 100% effort दिया? बताओ मेरे को, आप मेरे को बताओ. I will read this right now. I will read what you have just writing here. मैं पढ़ने की कोशिश करूंगा. मैं सोच रहा हूं कि क्या कोई भी लड़का लड़की ऐसा आज है जो हैंड ऑन द हार्ट देख के बोल पाएगा आज इससे ज्यादा एफर्ट में नहीं कर सकता था. आई कुड नॉट हैव डन मोर एफर्ट देन व्हाट आई डिड टुडे. टेल मी इफ यू कैन टेल मी दिस. टेल मी इफ यू कैन टेल मी दिस with honesty. Yes, if you give 100% effort. No, if you could not. Tell me yes or no. Tell me effort. Yes or no. See this now. This is what I want to tell you. This is what I want to tell you. There is no magic portion. There's no magic potion, rather, that you know, I tell you this, wow, everything is going to be fine. That's a fairy tale world. This is not a fairy tale, it's a messy world where the dates of exam keep on changing because of some superpowers thinking, aisa karo, vaisa karo, vaisa karo. Yes, students get suffered. Yes, see this, please. Everybody is saying, I could do more effort. That's the first thing I want you to understand. Good philosophy. I would have done this. Subah उठ के the only thing you will do is write down and do this to yourself. Today I will have 100% effort. ऐसा सोचना है. और रात को did I do 100% effort? If you did not, you have to be angry at yourself. Demand more from yourself is the first mantra I want from you. You can do it is the first thing. Then you almost push yourself even against your own wishes कि तू करके दिखा. क्या करके दिखा? Not that you remember more, not that you want to get dermatology, but the goal should be how many hours should I study today? Is your goal. The goal is not to get to AIMS. Goal is not to get to PGI. Goal is to study with 100% effort. ठीक है पीयूष? Alright. Second point. My second mantra. I have 10. Clarity. I give this saying to a lot of people. People who have clarity about what they want to do in the day will never need motivation to do it. I'm saying this sentence again. People who have clarity about what they want to do every day will never need motivation to do it. Means what? Most of us will get up in the morning and then start making plans to what I want to do today. No. The plan for tomorrow is today night. Before you go to sleep, you take a pen and paper and write down कि कल मैं क्या करूंगा. Spend 10 minutes, spend 15 minutes in planning. For all big people plan the night before. We know that as a consistent way, because what happens is when you sleep with that plan, there's going to be some kind of subconscious things going on in your mind. One of that thought is going to be the plan for tomorrow, because you sleep with that thought, right? And then you sleep over it, so your mind processes that. There's so much happening in your sleep, right? We know that, right? Things go churned around in your sleep. What will happen next day morning? You will wake up already with a plan in your mind, because you've planned a plan. Okay, so you almost have a jump start. We call it a jump start, meaning you're already ahead of other people who are thinking aaj kya karna hai. Yes, so you start with an agenda right in the morning, right? And I have a plan. Usually we do a 70-30 thing, right? Meaning what? We do 70% of one subject and 30% of the second subject. You can combine a long subject and a short subject. But what 70% would it be? Is going to be that plan the yesterday night, right? 30%, 70%. So if you do 10 hours, for example, 7 hours here, 3 hours here. Don't do one full subject at one time. Don't do only medicine for like whatever number of days. Don't do that, because your brain then forgets faster, because you finish medicine and then you'll take a lot of time to come back to medicine in the second revision. Versus you keep on doing some medicine, some dermatology, some medicine, some short and long, short and long, short. So your neural connections and synapses keep on rolling about faster. So we call it a two subject revision. Yes or no, please? Okay. Now at the end of the day, EOD, end of the day, start doing some MCQs. It's always been nicer to do a lot of PYQs. It's been a central part about your preparation. Now, when we say PYQs, I also mean PYTs, previous year topics. Obviously, questions are hardly getting repeated, but topics get repeated, obviously. So if I say leprosy is important, for example, from dermatology, we'll have to do leprosy. And you don't have to even finish the full leprosy at one time. You can do half leprosy, come back to the half the next day. You know what will happen? Your brain retains leprosy for 24 hours. Rather than finishing leprosy and finishing dermatology in 2 days and coming back to you after a month, you will feel it's a new thing. So many students will ask me, sir, what do I do? I'm forgetting. A great way to kind of address that is combine subjects. Combine. Am I saying that then you will not forget? I'm not saying that, bache. I'm saying you will forget lesser. That's the only thing I'm saying. You will always feel, even outside your exam hall, you will actually feel that, sir, I'm not prepared. I used to feel that even on the bench when I was sitting, when the invigilator was giving out the question paper on the first bench, when I was giving my handwritten theory exams. So what I used to feel that till the time it was coming to me, the paper, question paper, I used to feel, मुझे तो कुछ नहीं आता. So you'll even feel that inside the exam hall before the exam. So don't worry, that thought will remain. But you will not believe something magical will happen when you start attempting it. All your faculties inside your brain will start cohesing together. But that only happens if you are making 100% effort during the preparation phase and not thinking how much are you remembering. Yes, please. Yes, please. Right? Clear? Got it? Yes. Okay. Are we on track right now? Am I trying to make sense? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? Clarity is supreme. The reason why so many of us waste time, wastage of time, is because you don't have clarity, and that clarity has to come on pen and paper. Don't keep that clarity inside your brain. Don't think, it's okay, I'll do tomorrow. No, it has to come on a blackboard with a chalk, or it has to get to your book, or it has to get to your notepad. You will have to put this on paper and show it to someone else. This plan needs to be shown to someone else. Meaning it could be anyone. It could be your mother. It could be someone. It could be anyone who you are accountable to. So we call this an accountability buddy. Okay, what do I say? We call this an accountability buddy. Somebody whom you are responsible to. Okay, I love the concept of accountability. We know that if you're answerable to someone, you are more likely to finish it. You will say, ki, yaar, what will my mother say? Today morning I declared that I will do 10 hours. Oh, I'm wasting time. A lot of your time wasting also happens with what we call as thought ruminations. Thought ruminations means you are reading something, suddenly your thought is, oh, what if I don't get dermatology? Oh, what if I don't get my rank? Oh, what are my GT scores? That's called thought rumination. We call them garbage thoughts. These are garbage thoughts, meaning junk thoughts. They don't take you ahead, they take you back, and then you have to struggle to get the motivation again. I'm not saying those thoughts will not come. What I'm trying to say, at the moment the thought comes, what do you do for garbage? You take a broom and you sweep it out. That's what I want you to do. I want you to sweep out as soon as they enter into your mind, and this is what is always important. Now, how do you change? How do you deal with these changing timetables? How do you deal with changing goalpost of exams? You will say, you will always remember one thing, and again, I say this to a lot of people. A lot of people will usually associate with this. You will have this is something, this is called what is in your hand, right? And there's always unfortunately a bigger circle, and this is not in your hand. So this is not in your hand, this is in your hand. I always get very interested in finding about any event. I will always think, is it in my hand, is it not in my hand? Changing timetables, changing goalposts, changing the date of the exam has never been in my hand. Okay, why should I even fret about it? What is in my hand is, I will say, no problem. Let's first look at 100%. So what is in your hand is only 100% effort. Yes or no, please? Because, and guess what, so many of you have said, no sir, I'm not giving 100% effort. I'm thinking, why did they change the dates? I'm losing motivation. So see where your thought is going. Your thought is going on what you can't change, and your thought is not going on what you can change, which is going to be your effort. Effort is the only thing that is completely in your hand. Nothing else ever will be. For example, that applies to life itself. That applies to everything in life. Even now, even if you go to post graduation, what if your seniors are not very good? What if your head of department is not very good? And then you fret, oh yeah, what will I do? My senior doesn't give me this, senior is not helpful, it is not very kind. Then you focus on what is not in your hand. What is in your hand is the only thing I want you to focus on, and that really has helped me in many situations in life. Okay, now this again very important. How, again, tell me this, in your full day, how many of us are in actual action and how many of us in actual thoughts? The more you are on the thought side, कि क्या होगा, GT score, anxiety, panic, oh, will something happen, oh, I'm not able to sleep, I'm not able to remember. So these are called as what? Thoughts. All successful people stay in action, right? They don't stay in thoughts. Trust me when I say this. The more you are here, and this action is preceded by clarity. Okay, so start with clarity, proceed to action. There is no concept of this. There's no concept of emotions and feelings and future prediction. Most of us are predicting our own futures. Ah, it's not going to happen. Oh, as if you are able to crystal gaze in the future ball that अरे कुछ नहीं हो सकता. कौन बोला तुमको कुछ नहीं हो सकता? There is someone sitting there. Who's going to decide that? Again, that is not in your hand. What happens to your effort has never been in your hand. And that is the easiest way I can put at life itself. The only thing in your hand is to give effort without a guarantee of a result. How many of us are okay with the uncertainty of not getting a good result in spite of hard work? We are not okay with that. हमको लगता है हमने effort किया तो हमको result मिलना चाहिए. There is no certainties of life. Uncertainty is the only certainty of life. Let's first accept that. Let's first accept that, right? Okay. Okay. Something again very important. Okay. So many students will have told me that, sir, how do I manage how much I'm forgetting? What do I want to do? Okay. I call it the RRR, the famous movie. Revision, revision, revision. Okay, I honestly need about at least 2 to 3 revisions before you get to your primary exam. And to ensure that you get to these big these number of revisions, you have to do a small portion Okay, and for that, what you want to do is very importantly, trust your faculty, trust your teachers. Whatever I have taught you, don't go beyond it. I have seen that a lot. Remember that Arjun's character in Mahabharat movie, thing, Mahabharat episodes, right? Arjun used to be able to see only the eye of the fish in that, arrow putting thing, right? So what used to happen was when he struck the arrow, it went into the eye of the fish because he could only see the eye of the fish. And everybody else said, "Ah, I can see the fish." Arjun said, "I can only see the eye of the fish." So the first point to understand. So if I create some notes for you, that's the eye of the fish. Don't go beyond that. The problem is we are really trusting too much content. We are getting into outside content, we're putting into our notes, and our notes are becoming bigger like a chewing gum and it's going to crack in between. So if you see the entire fish, you'll be hitting the tail and not really the eye. So the first thing is do only what is necessary, taking out what is unnecessary. And then what happens is if you do a small portion, think of it like a small tire which you can actually rotate faster, and then you can do more revisions. For this also you have to do something called as fast reading. Now fast reading means that you have to go ahead at a rapider pace because then you can do more revision. Obviously you don't have to read so fast that you don't even judge it, but you don't have to be slow because you know you will come back to it again. If you have a bigger tire, it will be more difficult to rotate. And then what will happen is maybe you'll not be able to complete the number of revisions that I want you to do. So only if you can get to 2 to 3 revisions minimum, then we know you're going to be able to remember some degree inside the exam. All of us will forget. The chance will be lesser once you have more repetition. So repetition is the only way for success, not content. And don't get a FOMO feeling that, oh, that fellow is from so and so app, he's got that a different content, I've got a different content, let me add something, he knows more than me, he's getting more GT score than me. That is not how it is. You have to run your own race. Be like that horse on the chariot who can only see straight, doesn't see right and left. Okay? Got what I'm saying? Yes? Everybody got this, please? Everything is important. Now, if you are a fast reader, your revision will not take a lot of time. Okay? How do I want you to read? Again, I have a wait for you to know this. Okay? How do I want you to read? Okay? I want you to have 2 hour sessions at one time when you read. That's the magic number, I would say. Okay, that's what I would do. I'm not saying that's the best way, but that's what I would do. I would do 2 hour sessions. I would take a 15-minute break in between. Then I would return to a 2 hour session. I would take a, that's how I would do it. 2 hours, 15 minutes, 2 hours, 15 minutes, maybe a longer thing for lunch. Okay, that's how I would do it. Okay, now in these 2 hour sessions, I would do a lot of belief. I start with belief that I will be able to make this 2 hours successful. So your goal for the day is going to give 100% effort to the 2 hour sessions. So you have to shrink your goal, not to have a goal as if, no, the conceptual goal, I want to come first in INIC. That's not a goal. The goal is let's make the best use of 2 hours. Yes or no, please? And this is typically what I want to do. It's a wonderful advice. You might think it's simple. You might say, "Isme kya badi baat hai?" But trust me, those 2 hours are making or breaking your actual result. So this 2 hour session is the gold session. You have to be really in it. Yes or no, please? Okay. Then when you do so we call this, you remember the all and none phenomena? You give all effort in the 2 hour session. And then when you take a 15-minute break here, there is no use of a mobile phone, no use of a TV, no talking to anyone. So this 15-minute is not, you don't want to keep your mind engaged with something which is not going to give you rest. So this 15-minute is all or none. None means absolute rest. Okay, when you have to put a timer for this rest. I used to do a lot of meditation in that 15-minute time. I used to actually have meditation, right, which I now do a lot in my Telegram group. Okay, we do live meditation in the night. Today maybe we are still not going to be able to do it because usually we do it at 9:45 every night, okay, for about 15 minutes. So I used to put a timer of 15 minutes and I used to only do something called as breathing. Okay, breathing in, breathing out. So we used to do 4 seconds of in, 4 of hold, 4 of out. 4 in, hold, out. This is what we say, right? Now you will not believe in the first 3-4 minutes your mind is all chaotic because it's now processing that 2 hours of studies. In about 7 or 8 minutes your mind starts to now relax. All your cortisols, all your adrenaline start to go down, and the pleasure hormones and the relaxation hormones start to kick in, and by 15 minutes you feel as if you're a newer person. And then when it's the rest over, then you start the all effort again. So we call this the all or none concept of teaching and reading, rather, sorry, not teaching. So we used to do this, and guess what, that next 2 hours used to be as efficient as the first 2 hours. But if you don't take care of the 15 minutes properly, you're still doing something in that 15 minute, chit chatting, looking at the newspaper. That is not relaxation. Only breathing is relaxation. And also I love the concept of doing some kind of movement, sometimes, not all of the time, but do some kind of stretch, because your muscles are aching. Stretching muscles also is relaxation. So I used to do this all the time, and I used to aim for 5 sessions like that of 2 hours each. That was my goal for every day. 5 sessions of 2 hours every day, and some degree of break, as I said, in between, is how I used to read. And it's always given me that result that I desire. My entire thought process was that I have to nail those 5 sessions of 2 hours each, and I will do absolute rest in that time I have in between. And that's the only request I have from you. Delete all social media. Those are distractions. They will always take out time from your rest time, and you will become more anxious, more panicky. Don't read something in that 15 minutes. 15 minutes is as important as 2 hours, because it's almost as if you're refueling and you're putting petrol in the car, and your car is ready to smash 100 kilometers an hour, and then the car is again sitting for 15 minutes, refueling again with rest and breathing. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. It's a golden advice. Don't take this advice lightly. Most of you would have expected that when I talk about 3 month strategy, you would have thought that I would say, okay, do derma in 1 day, do medicine in 4 days. That is not, that's very easy to do, and anybody can make that plan in 2 minutes. But I'm telling you something so different. I'm telling you how you should do this. I'm telling you what should be your mindset. I'm trying to tell you that there is an entire mental game to this. It's not a physical game, it's a mental game, and it is not difficult to do, bache. And I just wish that you start doing this with a lot of determination and lot of belief, right? Please. Okay, now I told you about the concept of forgetting. I told you about the concept of forgetting, and the only way to stop forgetting is RRR. And I add one more R to this, which is the rest time of 15 minutes. Okay, that's the new R I want to tell you. If you relax better, you remember better. If you relax better, you read better, and then obviously you remember better. It's so important to do it. Okay, now I cannot make a personal plan for you, bache. All of us are different human beings. I'm no one here to be able to make a plan for you. I don't have the audacity to do that. I can make a plan for myself because I know myself, that what can I do, how much can I remember, how much my back hurts, how much concentration I have. Some students can say I can only read 1.5 hours and then I get exhausted. Fair enough. Okay, for me it was 2 hours. For you it might be 1.5. For some it might be 2.5. So who am I to make a plan for you? I'm just trying to give you general guidelines, bache. Yes or no? Pen and paper are going to be your best friends. All plans have to go on pen and paper. No plans in your own mind. Yes or no, please? Right. Something very important. I genuinely believe this now for you. Now, all of us, and this is a beautiful saying, we are always an average of 5 people around us. We are always an average of 5 people around us. And that's actually true. Okay. It's very important to choose whom you have around you in the next 3 months. If you have people around you say, yeah, it's very tough. Look at the Indian government, look at the medical bodies. People who are this cranky, negative people around you will drag you down. What's the people who say, koi baat nahi, karte hain, chal, let's do it. Okay? Even that is your mom, let that be your father, let that be your sister, brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Search for people around us who are more than you, and you will catch up to them. tag along. We call this tagging. Tag along with people who are positive about making that result that you are aspiring to have. If you get bogged down by people, the chatter on all these WhatsApp groups and Insta groups and all this, or your look, your I've lost motivation, your somebody else is saying that, right? You know what will happen? He's saying it, but when you hear it, you also go down in your motivation because you've just heard it. There's some input going into your mind versus somebody who says, Koi baat nahi. If the exam got delayed, koi baat nahi, I will do it. And then you will also do it because you are the average of 5 people around us. And that's so true. That's so true. And I will believe this to the end of my life. I'll always make sure that people around, I'm ruthless in choosing people who surround me because I know I'm going to become like them. So the intervention for your motivation is not inside you. The motivation should be to change what is outside you. And when you get up in the morning, the first thing you have to start with is you have to get some sun. That's one of the best way to activate your own mind. Don't be indoors. Remove your curtains. Look out of the window. Go down for 2 minutes. Catch some sun in your eye. Sit down, and you will see that the world feels a nicer place. All of us, we know, are going to be given an empty basket in the morning. We know this, okay? We'll know that your basket is empty in the morning. It's your choice. What do you fill it up with? Do you fill it up with negative thoughts, which are rotten fruits? One rotten fruit is going to rot other fruits as well. So your responsibility is get up in the morning with belief that I've got a new empty basket. Today I'll fill it up with 100% effort, and I will actually have a company of people around me who also are willing to give me that 100% effort, notwithstanding the point that the Indian system might seem unjust sometime, and you might say nahi ho raha mere se, I'm not able to do it. And I know when you think like that, unfortunately that thing becomes true. Whatever you think is more likely to become true. It can be this side or it can be this side, doesn't really matter. Okay, I always believe in the power of meditation to reduce the anxiety all of us feel. Spend time in meditation. Okay, spend time in, so one of the, I can tell you an app. It's called Insight Timer. Insight Timer, it's a free app. Download it. Very beautiful app. You have a lot of free meditations also in that. Play that, close your eyes, breathe. It's one of the best ways I know to boost the memory centers of your brain. All of us know that. Usually we know it takes time, but your brain memory centers become bigger, and it's proven on scans, and you can retain more information with more relaxation without getting too much of panicky emotion in that, right? Let's talk about the GT score also. So many students say, ki, how do I become better in my GT scores? That's again not a good question. The question has always been, did you give 100% effort, right? GT scores are not honestly as important as you think it to be. Many of you will say, my GT score stuck, I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something. You're not doing something wrong. You are doing something wrong in by really associating with that GT score and thinking कि ये score है यही आने वाला एग्जाम में. ऐसा नहीं होता. You have to know that insight timer, but I'll just say the word somebody wanted to know. Insight timer. Okay, insight timer. Okay, insight timer. So many students say, how do I improve my GT scores? How do I get a rank within the first 1000? How do I get a rank between five for the first 5000? That's a wrong question. Again, you're looking at results. Be process focused, not result focused. It's not in your hand what rank will come. Yes, GT scores again not in your hand. Some papers are like that, some papers like that. You have to just know one thing from there. When you analyze GT scores, you just think, okay, I'm making a lot of mistakes in leprosy. Do more of leprosy. Do leprosy again and again. Simple enough, right? You just have to know the topics where you're consistently making mistake. Go back to your notes and trust your teacher that he's done that topic. Even if your teacher has left out some portion from that topic, don't add to that from other apps. It's going to mess your preparation really. I don't want to do that. Okay, so many of us will also feel ki, sir, I feel a lot of difficulty that I can rule out two options, but between the rest of the two options I always make a silly mistake and I go to the one which is not important, which is wrong. How do I correct that? I want you to understand one thing. Usually there's nothing like a silly mistake. Okay, Can you classify mistakes? One is silly, one is serious, one is medium. Nothing like that. Mistake is a mistake, right? Usually silly mistakes, what you call as silly, usually happens because you have not read the topic again and again. And you know that, Arey yaar, I know this topic was there on the right hand top corner or so and so page. Even you can have a visualization. You can even visualize that in your mind कि हाँ मुझे पता है यहाँ पे था. But why can you not recollect it? Because RRR. The revision. Okay? Revision is not happening, bache. Revision is not happening. Yes or no, bache? Okay? I want you to understand that GT scores are not an indicator of your final results. Trust me when I say this. And it's so heartening. Set yourself free. Set yourself free from being bogged down by GT scores. एक बार तो जी के देखो यार. Life is not only your entrance exam. Even though right now you might feel it's the only thing in the world. दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है बच्चे. This is a part of your journey. This is a part of your journey. And इस journey में हम कितने मर रहे हैं? We are dying in this fight, in this race, right? We are dying in this preparation time. It feels like a bad life. It does feel like. ठीक है? Right? But you know, I always say this, and it's a Hindi thing, and I want to say this again and again. मेरी लड़ाई खुद से है. मेरी लड़ाई खुद से है. मुझे खुद से ही जीतना है. मैं भीड़ नहीं हूं दुनिया की. मेरे अंदर भी ज़माना है. Which means that there is a heart inside, there's an emotion inside. I'm still a child in my own heart. कितना हम उसको मारेंगे यार? Why am I beating it with a stick every day? याद नहीं करता. You're not remembering. You're not remembering. Do more. Do more. अरे यार, you're flogging an already tired horse. कितना भागेगा? कितना भगाओगे यार? रेस्ट तो करो. सोचो कोई बात नहीं. सबका कुछ ना कुछ लाइफ में अच्छा हो जाता है. Believe that. Believe that with every molecule of your body that अपना भी कुछ ना कुछ हो जाएगा. We get too lost in this race. We feel that I've lost all my skills. You know, somebody might be a good painter, somebody might be a good dancer, somebody might be a very kind person, somebody is a very just person, somebody sings very well, somebody acts very well. All of us have some skills. But guess what? You're not feeling that at all right now. The only thing you're feeling right now is GT score, GT score, dermatology, rank, INICT. You're much more than a rank in an exam. You are much more than what these 3 months will get you. The real challenge of life is to not get bogged down by the challenges of life. By just continue to still think कि कोई नहीं यार, इम्तिहान तो लाइफ में आते ही रहेंगे. ये एक और इम्तिहान है, इसके बाद और इम्तिहान आएंगे. मैं हर इम्तिहान में मर नहीं सकता. I cannot die during every challenge that life throws at me because life has already decided what it wants to give me. It just has not been revealed to me. मैं क्यों दुखी हूं? The only thing in my hand is just being where I want to be. And that is the effort mentality. And I love this effort mentality because right now, देखिए मैं क्या कह रहा हूं. अब मैं आपसे ना impromptu बोल रहा हूं. ये सब कहीं लिखा नहीं है. There's nothing in front of me where I'm reading it. क्योंकि ये पूरा दिल से आ रहा है. And it's my heart being open out to you. मैं इसको दिल की बात बोलता हूं, मन की बात नहीं बोलता. I'm not talking from my brain. I'm talking from my heart. I'm talking about a life which is beyond the date of your exam. It's much beyond it. Your life is too big. And I want you to realize it. आप डिप्रेस क्यों होते हो? क्योंकि आपको लगता है यही सब कुछ है. इस 3 महीने में कुछ नहीं किया तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला लाइफ में. I'm the first one to tell you that life, this is nothing. Life itni beautiful hai. And I want you to see the beauty even right now. Even though you might be crying, you might be frustrated, I want you to look at the beauty that's within us, outside us, but nahi dikhti. क्योंकि एक ही चीज दिखता है, याद नहीं रहता है ना. बताओ गलत बोल रहा हूं तो बताओ, गलत बोल रहा हूं तो गाइस, लाइफ में अच्छा तो हो जाएगा. विश्वास करके तो देख. You know, I have so many songs which I listen to, right? And these songs, really envision, giving me vigor. Listen to them, dance occasionally, even in this time. That 15-minute movement wala, it is so nice to dance in that 15 minutes, because you will feel, wow, life is not this exam loud, life is not 10 hours, life is also about dance even in this time. And आपका ब्रेन बोलेगा ये पागल है, डांस कर रहा है, छोड़ यार, इसका मतलब he's I don't have to give this fellow stress. Stress is going to go away. What prevents you from dancing in that 15 minutes? I would have done that. The more stress I feel, the more dance comes out of you. The more you can sing, the more you can just move your mind, and you can pay some peppy music, do some bhangra, do some garba, do some rap and pop, and God knows what you want to do. You see so many Instagram reels on the newest dance moves. I saw one girl, some Insta is flooded with that girl's video where she's dancing in a particular fashion. Replicate that dance, no? Dance, what's the big deal in that? And then you say, wow, life is not about cortisols. Life is about relaxation. Life is about thinking, ये कुछ नहीं है भाई, चल हो जाएगा, कोई नहीं, हो जाएगा. That's the emotion, that's the strength. I call this the armor mentality. I call this a warrior mentality, that you have a plating of armor. You know what armor is? That armor is of dance. That armor is of exercise. That armor is of meditation. When the stress of life comes, then there's an armor protecting you, and that armor is actually, I tell you, it's actually dance and singing and doing this fine arts. What prevents you from singing? You know what prevents you? Stress. What if you want to break that? What do you want to take this out? That the only thing which takes it out is being lost in the moment. And when we say lost in the moment, do things which is very close to your heart. Tell yourself, what do I really like to do? What do I really like to do? And you know that there's one thing which really relaxes you. Okay, and that should not be social media, that should not be entertainment, it should be something which is purer. And I believe sports does that. I know playing cards do that. What prevents you in your own house? Tell your mummy, let's play cards for 15 minutes, let's do some rummy, let's play rummy, let's play something. Play is the antithesis of stress. Play and stress never go together. Do you remember any time you have played volleyball, basketball, and badminton, and you're hitting a shuttle with that badminton, and you think, oh, my GT scores are not coming. Oh, my GT scores are not coming. How fun is that? You will not be able to think, right? Don't think it's a waste of time. Those 15 minutes of rest are not a waste of time. It's actually rejuvenation. It's armor plating your body so that the stress doesn't go inside. It's that, that Mahabharat character again, that's actually that Karan character. He used to have this, kavach, that kavach, let's call it Suraksha kavach, right? Your kavach and your armor is play, meditation, dance, singing, meditation. I'm saying so much different. I'm saying such different things. I'm sure you've not expected that we are going to talk like that today. आपको क्या लगा होगा कि आज तो मैं क्या करूंगा? I will make a plan for you. I will just लिखो बच्चे 10 दिन में मेडिसिन, 4 दिन में सर्जरी. I'm not like that. I see you as a person. I don't see you as a doctor who's just out to make plans कि कैसे करे कैसे करे कैसे. ऐसा नहीं करना है. The entire thing is for me to train you to become the best version of yourself. And I know I say this to a lot of students. Most of us as students at MBBS feel that only when I get an MD seat will I become someone. Yes or no, bache? Only when I get a great career I will become someone. Only when I get a BMW I will become someone. What if somebody told you you're already someone? Do you even believe that? You'll say, I've just done MBBS. What's the big deal? My past scores have not been really good. But you know how many percent of people actually even get here? Out of the number of people who come out of the womb of a mother, how many percent people can even be here today listening to me? How many of you even get the honor? God has already been kind to you. Let's start with a beautiful saying. I call this an attitude of gratitude. Let's start first believing that life is a nice thing. Let's be gracious enough to acknowledge कि life ने हमको already बहुत दिया है. And once you relax, you're already half journey is done. Some students ask me, कि sir, not time, too much of time is left. Is this time enough? My emphatic answer is yes. But only and only if you do what I've just told you to do. In all this lecture, in all this talk that I've had, only if you can do this with action, just thinking that this day is going to this much, this time amount of time is going to be enough, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to be in action. Be in action, not in thinking, is where the entire result will be. So remember, belief is not only thinking about something. Belief, even if I keep on thinking I'll come first, it will not happen, right? Action लोगे तो ही काम होता है. And that action is how I told you to do it. Yes, please. Are you with me on what I just did, please? Okay. Now, what do I do in the last 15 days is also something I want to talk about. Right? Now, I love the concept of something called the 20th book. You have 19 subjects. So what you do is when you are reading right now, let's assume in leprosy, you think this part is very difficult, I can't remember. On an STD like a syndromic approach, I can't remember. So what you do is when you're reading dermatology, you know syndromic is difficult and you want to revise it later on. So go to the 20th book, keep 4 pages for dermatology and just write the titles of the thing that you think you will have to revise. So just write point number 1, syndromic approach. Don't write the entire syndromic, just the title. Okay. Then second, lepra reaction. Third, whatever. So you feel full, you almost make a headline of the topic in the dermatology page of the 20th book. And then when you open dermatology on the 20th book, you say, oh, I have to read syndromic. Go back to the primary textbook, the book that I created for you in dermatology. Only read syndromic from there. Then go back to the 20th book. Okay, second topic, lepra reaction. Come back to the main book, read lepra reaction from there. Keep on switching like that. Go up and down, go up and down, go up and down. And that up and down is actually beautiful. And bache, that means you will usually have in the 20th book all the 19 subjects actually and the titles of the topic that you wish to revise. And I love the fact that in the last 15 days you can only open the 20th book, and from the 20th book then you can bifurcate and you can then branch out the original topic or the original book. And that really is a beautiful way to handle the last 15-20 days, which is going to be chaotic. Otherwise, how much do you time? How much do you think you'll be able to revise in the last 10-15 days? Not much. क्या कर लोगे, कितना कर लोगे, नहीं करोगे, है ना? तो इसलिए मैं आपसे ये कह रहा हूं कि आप 20वीं बुक बनाएं, अभी बना लें ताकि लास्ट में पैनिक ना हो. That is so much better. Okay, this is so nice. Okay, so somebody has even said that I am writing already in the 20th book. This is what I want you to do. These things work. Right? So it's very important, bache, that we do this last 15-day thing. Okay, so I hope I've been able to give you a good enough idea about what I believe should be the way ahead, mainly from a mental aspect, mainly from a relaxation aspect, mainly from looking at 2-hour sessions, mainly from looking at 70-30 concept of one big subject, one small subject, and an MCQ in between. Think of this as a belief game. Don't think of this as a thing in hoga ke nahi hoga. Start looking at this as just a phase of life. मैं हमेशा एग्जाम्पल देता था, the Coca-Cola example or the cold drink cola bottles. The cola bottle has a constriction at the top, right, and a big one at the bottom. So in this preparation of life, you almost feel as if you are in the constricted part of the bottle कि गला ही दब रहा है तुम्हारा. But you know what? There is the opening is right there, and you will just be kind of splashing in the air very soon कि यार वो constricted phase of life खत्म हो गया. That annoying phase of life where I felt घुटन हो रही थी वो तो खत्म होने वाला. The cola can is going to splash out in the air with this joyous flare, and this is just a matter of time. You're going to be coming out of it. Yes, please. Are you with me, please? right? So this is, I hope I took what time? Oh, we have already done 1 hour. Wow, this was so good. And I didn't feel it was 1 hour because I felt I was in the moment. I didn't revise for this, and I'll give you this insider thing on this. It was, I just had 5 minutes here, so I started writing these points just 5 minutes back. Okay, I didn't like make it before because I didn't want to make this a structured session. So last में जो भी मेरे दिमाग में आया कि 5 minutes में I have made these points because this is really how I want you to do this. It has to be an extempore. It has to be an outpouring of love and kindness to you. It's going to be an outpouring of a time where I believe कि कोई बात नहीं, फैकल्टी है मेरे साथ है, मेरे को समझा रही है, कुछ नहीं होता, अपना टाइम ठीक हो जाएगा, है ना? मैं एक्चुअली कहता हूं, ये मैं नहीं कहता कि अपना टाइम आएगा, मैं कहता हूं अपना टाइम आ गया. Our time is already here. It's just that hold this by your hands, club this by your hand, and guess what? Don't stop patting yourself. We always feel like giving this thumbs up to other people on WhatsApp, on Facebook. When will you give the thumbs up to yourself? आपको आपको कौन थम्स अप देगा? आप ही अपने आप को थम्स अप दोगे. डू दिस टू योर सेल्फ. आप बोलो आई एम गुड, मैंने मेहनत करी है. मैं ऐसा क्यों सोचूं कि मैंने मेहनत नहीं करी? आई गिव 1,000 likes first to myself. मैं, this is called as undiluted self love. All of us do self bashing and not self love. Yes or no? गलत हो रहा है तो बताओ, गलत हो रहा तो बताओ. We don't do self love, we do self bashing. क्यों करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं? नहीं कर, नहीं करा, क्यों नहीं कर, हाँ नहीं कर, वो पढ़ा नहीं, वो आई हैव रेड फॉर 10 hours today, oh tomorrow I only did 2 hours, oh how wrong is that, everybody is going ahead, oh tuck 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 tuck. You're hitting yourself with knives, you're bleeding inside, and then you feel कि why am I not confident? Who's making you underconfident? Yourself only, no? Your own thoughts are killing you. Your own words to yourself are killing you. पहली बात ये जानो, you're already successful because you're here. The very fact that you're doing MBBS is a sign that आप already कुछ हो, आप में दम है. Who gives you the right to think, even after crossing so many mountains and so many rivers of challenges, go to your childhood, go to your 10th standard, go to your 12th standard, you have crossed so many hurdles. You are not coming out of the womb right now. कितनी बड़ी जर्नी आप लोगों ने ऑलरेडी तय करी है. Who bloody gives you the whims and the fancies to think कि हमारे में क्षमता नहीं है? अपना ही खुद का पीछे देखो ना, क्योंकि आपकी क्षमता का जो दायरा क्या है पता है? अगर मैं फर्स्ट आया यूनिवर्सिटी में तभी मैं कुछ हूं, अगर मेरे को सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट में तभी हम कुछ हैं. क्यों भाई? पीछे कौन देखेगा? You know, when you get your MBBS degree, you might think you are no one, but your parents think you have already got an Oscar. Look at yourself from their eyes and not from your eyes. आप अपने आप को बहुत कम समझते हो, आपके आसपास के लोग आपको इतना कम नहीं समझते, बड़ा समझते हैं. वो बड़प्पन अपने आप भी लेके आओ. छोटा नहीं समझो अपने आप को, आप छोटे नहीं हो. आप कैपेबिलिटी से भी बहुत बड़े हो, मन से भी बहुत बड़े हो, और आगे आप बहुत कुछ कर जाओगे. विश्वास बुनियाद है, बिलीफ बुनियाद है, और ये समय सबका निकल जाएगा और कुछ ना कुछ अच्छा सबके साथ हो जाएगा. यस. So thank you very much. It's been a very joyful time for me. I'm full of joy right now. I don't know if you can feel it. Even though this is online, I don't know why I'm actually feeling your presence with me right now. I'm feeling कि आज कुछ खास हुआ. हमने आज कोशिश करी कुछ अलग करने की, And I hope you felt the warm hug from me. This was my hug to you. This was a hug from a teacher to a student, and a pat on his back, a pat on his head, saying ki rest, you're already doing very well, थोड़ा सा और कर ले, विश्वास से कर ले, मेरे कंधे पे रोना है तो रो ले, लेकिन हार नहीं माननी, तेरा कुछ अच्छा हो जाएगा, विश्वास रखो अपने पे, डेस्टिनी पे, कि there is something waiting for you. Can you really think like this? You know, मन में मैं क्या, last few words, जज्बा पता क्या होना चाहिए, जज्बा क्या होना चाहिए, I can't wait for the rest of my life. I love this sentence. I can't wait for the rest of my life. Is this the emotion right now? We don't have this emotion right now, no? हमें डर लग रहा है फ्यूचर से कि फेल हो गए तो, रैंक नहीं मिला तो. आई एम सेइंग समथिंग डिफरेंट. व्हाट इफ something magical is happening and you can't wait for that to be revealed? Is not that a wonderful jazba to have? I want you to have that, and I want you to get back to living and remove that suffering which is self-induced, iatrogenic. ठीक है, चलो, नमस्ते. I genuinely wish all my best to you, and I mean this with every cell of my body. I feel that I'm able to transmit all my warmth and all my emotions to you. This session was never, I never wanted this session to be just a PowerPoint presentation session. That is, you know, it's very mechanical. So I could I could have made a PPT कि ऐसा कर लो वैसा कर लो, but हमने नहीं करना था. I wanted to treat you as humans. I wanted to treat you as people with emotions and feelings. And we are much beyond the 19 subjects. We're much beyond it. Let's expose the love that all of us are born with. Let's express it openly. And I hope you have felt this power of expression. And I have not even stopped for 1 second maybe. Can you see this? The words are almost dying to come out of my own mouth. It is 1 hour of non-stop talk. और ये सही इसलिए हो पाता है क्योंकि हम दिल से बोल रहे हैं, हम कुछ फॉर्मेटेड नहीं बोल रहे, है ना? It comes from my absolute connect with the suffering phase of your life, because I have gone through this. I know how bad this feels. It just needs someone to hold our hand and say कि बच्चे हो जाएगा, उंगली पकड़ ले. तो आज मैं आपको उंगली दे रहा हूँ, पकड़ लो. मुश्किल नहीं है, रास्ता डिफिकल्ट है, थोड़े कंकड़ पत्थर हैं, गिर भी जाएं तो कोई बात नहीं, चलना नहीं छोड़ेंगे. ठीक है बच्चे? थैंक यू सो मच. गुड बाय. गॉड ब्लेस. And anytime you feel that you need my help, I'm always there on my Telegram group, right?